Happy Sunday morning, everybody. We are live in Hemlock, New York, just south of Rochester, for one of the largest rallies that supports our first responders, our veterans, our military in this country. And we're here to bring that to you today. Beautiful day, we're just south of Rochester. We're at a fairgrounds here in Hemlock, and we've got about 1,000 or so people gathered so far, waiting for the national anthem and a flyover here momentarily. Now, this is an event that's been going on for quite some time, and from estimated, it's thousands of people show up here in the Rochester area and right along this amazing route today that we have that goes across the countryside here in northern upstate New York. Welcome. We're so glad you're joining us, and of course we've got several platforms that you can watch all of this content on. I want to remind you that we just launched last week a brand new app that will enable you to stream all of our content. So go to your Apple or Android store right now and search RSBN and download our new app, and that will enable you to watch us. And we've got different programming on our app throughout the day, on the weekdays and the weekend, various shows that you can watch. So this is something different for Right Side. Traditionally, we have been to a rally or political based events, but today it's all about honoring our first responders, our military veterans, and an officer that had lost his life here in this area, and we'll hear from the family here in just a few minutes. But we're so glad you're joining us, and if you're into classic cars and motorcycles, and we'll be showing you this over the next hour and a half. There's some amazing bikes here, so we got some amazing cars here as well, and we can't wait to show you. We've got a nice bagpipe group that just performed here. They'll be performing a little bit throughout the day as well, and of course we got just a great patriotic theme here. Now, this is not a political event at all. This is pure love of country and support for our police officers and first responders. So we're happy that you're joining us. Let's go walk over here, take a walk. Will, the amazing Will is my camera op today, and we're going to take you on a nice little tour of what it looks like, and we'll talk to the organizers here and find out exactly why they decided to put on an event like this and what motivated them, and really how it's grown from just an event with a few bikers to an event with thousands of bikes. And we've got a couple of them that are assembled at this part of the fairgrounds here. Haven't had a chance to talk to a whole lot of these people yet, but we will talk to them and ask them why they are here as well. So if you like cars, you like motorcycles, this is a good time to tag a friend, tag somebody that you know that might enjoy this content. Share our page right now on Facebook, and of course share the link on YouTube and Twitter, and let's get the message out that we're about to show you one of the most patriotic things you'll probably see all weekend as we honor our first responders, our police, our men and women in uniform.
Please remove your hats.
Do the national.
Star Spangled Banner.
I'm going to pause for a second for that. My goodness, what a way to kick off a Sunday morning here in Hemlock, New York. If you're just now joining us, welcome. We are live at one of the largest Back the Blue pro-military motorcycle classic car rides you'll find here in the U.S. We've got some speakers scheduled to say a few words, and then we're going to get off with the ride. And we got motorcycles behind us. We got classic cars in the field over there. We'll walk around and show you some of those as well. We got a few words, I think, from the organizers. Let's go ahead and step up here so we can get a good. Yes, sir. Thank you for showing up. Yeah, and that's one of the things that some gentleman just asked if we were with Right Side. And I said, yes, we are. And he said, well, thanks for showing up. And that's what we do here at Right Side Broadcasting. We are supporting our men and women in uniform, our first responders, our veterans, and the love of country, America first. So we're glad that you're joining us today. I will say this. It was a very emotional moment a couple minutes ago as we had the flyover, several people getting emotionally affected by that, and I would imagine a lot of people, this is very personal to them, honoring our men and women in uniform. So we're glad to be here today, and we're happy that you're joining us here as well. Let's listen into some of the organizers.
I just want to thank you all for coming, and on behalf of the Koch family as well. Without all of you, we couldn't make this go on and happen the way it does. And all our sponsors, everybody that came out to support. Okay! Don't yell at me. I said I'd like to thank everybody for coming. Without all of you, this wouldn't be possible, and it just makes it that much better. And on that note, I want to thank all our sponsors, everybody that donated money to get this off the ground and going today. National Guard, the Fair Society, M&R and Moses, or Geneseo Collision. He knows what I'm saying. And on that note, here's Roberta Irwin.
Roberta Irwin is one of the organizers of this event.
We couldn't have put it all together without him. This is the memorial portion of the rally, and then we will have the ride, then we will have the constitutional portion of the rally after the ride. I'm going to speak a little bit about the 3 airmen, National Guard airmen. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Steve Skoda, joined the Army in 1985. He was a 35-year veteran of the Army and National Guard. His decorated career included 2 deployments to Afghanistan, along with providing support and life-saving aid to national disasters and emergencies. He was well-loved with a kind and generous spirit. He was a leader and a respected mentor to others. Chief Warrant Officer 2, Daniel Pryl. His motivation to serve was the event that took place on 9/11. He was connected to that through his father, who served as a New York City firefighter. He graduated from West Point in 2012 and served in the U.S. Army until just recently. He served in the Afghanistan War and joined the Guard just recently, about a year ago. He was a mentor to many future aviators and warfighters. Chief Warrant Officer 4, Christian Koch, who we have named this first Blue Line Ride and Rally in honor of, was a native of Livingston County and one of the most generous people to serve this great country. He was a 20-year veteran of the National Guard and was also a pilot with the New York State Police Aviation Unit. He was a veteran of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. He loved his family deeply, who are here today joining us right in the front. And their happiness and smiles filled him with joy and happiness. You will hear more about Christian's dedication to the United States of America and his family when his good friend Todd Estabrooks speaks shortly. I would like to have the family just step forward so we can all honor you and thank you for giving the ultimate sacrifice of your husband, father, and son.
the Koch family walking towards the stage. And, of course, this ride is in honor of this family and the sacrifice.
We know this is a difficult day for you, but we hope that seeing all these people here to honor your son, husband, and father helps your heart heal a little bit. And we hope that we are honoring him the way you would like us to today. So thank you for being here. I would like to have Todd Estabrooks come up. He's going to speak to on behalf of the Koch family. He is also a police officer with the Caledonia Police Department, and he will be speaking first.
If you're just now watching us, we are live in Hemlock, New York, for a first responders, veterans, but police memorial ride honoring the Koch family. We've got some speakers scheduled before the ride begins. Let's take a listen in.
Okay. Am I close enough? Yeah. I wasn't expecting the breeze today. I'm Todd Estabrooks. Police officer, Caledonia Police, where I've been a police officer for about 12 years. I was also in the Army. Christian was one of the reasons why I joined the Army. He's also one of the reasons why I got this t-shirt on today. I think he gave me my first comic book. I'd like to thank everybody who worked on making today's event possible. And that flyover was amazing. Let's hear it for that flyover. I was asked to speak today about my friend Christian Koch, somebody who I met in kindergarten and 35 years later call my best friend. Many people asked me over the past few months if I had thought or if I'd wrote what I was going to say today. My answer was always no. And then somebody asked me why. It wasn't until that moment I realized why. It wasn't that I hadn't thought about it a lot. It was that I couldn't find the words. I told this person that I was having a real difficult time trying to find the words to say about somebody who I don't feel is gone. That person told me, "Well, Todd, you don't have to speak like he's gone." At that moment, I realized what my problem had been. You see, Christian hasn't left me. He's still with me, and I refuse to give up on him. Christian never gave up on anything. If he did, we wouldn't be here today for the reasons we are. If he did, there would be so many things. There wouldn't be so many things that are better because of him, including myself. Christian never gave up on bringing people together. Look around. He still hasn't. He never gave up on being close to his family. He never gave up on his dream job. He never gave up on finding the woman of his dreams. He never gave up on having kids and starting a family. He never gave up on his friends. Christian never gave up on himself, and he never gave up on me. Because of his strong will to never give up, I refuse to give up on him now. We all have the capability to decide where we go from here. We can stay down, cry tears of sorrow and regret, or we can choose to never give up. I know for a fact that if Christian was here today on this stage speaking about me, he would say the same thing. Because of that fact, I will choose to smile, I will choose to laugh, and I will choose to talk. Never like he's gone, but like he's with me. Like he's with me now more than he ever was. I've never spoken of Christian in the past tense, and I never will. I refuse to give up. I'll tell you a little story. About 15 years ago, I was lying on my couch watching TV. It was early afternoon, and I had no plans to do much of anything that day. And that's when Christian called me. And he asked me what I was doing. I told him that I wasn't doing anything. And then I was immediately concerned why he was asking. He told me about this cave that he heard about in Letchworth State Park and how he wanted to go seek it out. He wasn't exactly sure where this cave was, but he knew the general area. He said it was near the parade grounds and down the canyon a bit. I said, well, buddy, I'm not sure that that's a real good idea. He said, I know. That's why I called you. Because I want you to go with me. I quickly said I would go, and I changed the subject, hoping he'd forget all about it. It was at this moment Christian replied, cool, man, because I'm on my way to pick you up. I knew you wouldn't let me go alone. About an hour later, we were getting out of his car and walking down the gorge into Letchworth. We had no idea where we were going. We had no clue on a direction. We were cut up from prickers. We were hot, dirty, and sweating. Eventually, after trusting in each other's guidance and taking turns leading the way, we found the cave entrance. We stopped, looked at each other, and smiled. We gave each other a slow and weak high five. Yes, indeed, we made it. We slowly entered the cave with a flashlight that Christian, of course, brought. And once we got inside, we both stopped again, looked at each other, and again said, "Let's get out of here." We left that cave. We fought our way back through the brush to get to his car, and we left. We were pumped that we did it. You see, it wasn't about exploring the darkness and danger of that cave that day. It was about the journey to it. We didn't give up. We didn't know where we were going. We didn't know how to get there. But it didn't matter. We found what we were looking for, and we found it together. Just like everything else we found in life. It's because we never gave up. I'm so grateful that we never gave up. We never gave up on each other. We never gave up on hope. And we never gave up on finding happiness. We made it into adulthood. And now, I will never give up on Christian. He needs us to never give up. I miss you, buddy. I love you, buddy. Fly on. Fly on past the speed of sound. I'd rather see you up than see you down. Thank you again.
If you're just now joining us, we are live in Hemlock, New York, just south of Rochester for the Christian Koch Memorial Rally, motorcycle ride, classic car rally, honoring our first responders,
New York State Trooper Richard Black.
men and women in uniform,
Will be
veterans,
speaking
and we're here
to,
today to honor them and honor this
Christian
country.
service in the New
And
York
we've got a
State Police
few more
Aviation
speakers
Unit.
scheduled before all these bikes and classic cars will fire up, and of course we'll show that to you as well. But we'll continue with the speakers on stage.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rich Black. I'm a lieutenant in state police. I met Christian probably over a decade ago when we both served together in the New York Army National Guard. A lot of good memories. I want to keep this happy and upbeat, so Dave, Scott, if you see me tearing up here, come up and punch me so I get on better track. My first memory of Christian, I was a second lieutenant in the Army National Guard. Can everybody hear me? I was a second lieutenant, and I got the chance to hop in on the back seat of the helicopter with Christian when he was taking his check ride to become a pilot in command. And it was a ride I'll never forget. We left Rochester, flew to Albany, and then went down to Long Island where we refueled, and then went into New York City. We flew over the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, circled the Statue of Liberty, flew up the west side of Manhattan right over Yankee Stadium. And it was in this check ride that I saw what a rock Christian was in the cockpit. I remember we were flying down the Hudson Valley, and if you've ever been in New York City and flown there, you know what a mess it is. There's 3 major airports. The air traffic controllers are constantly in your ear. And at some point, they started calling us. Our call sign was Blackheart, but we didn't hear it. And Christian was flying, and I was enjoying the view, and Steve Skoda was in the left seat. And this air traffic controller, we finally realized, was calling us, and she just berated us, berated Christian for missing the call. And I would have been rattled. I think I would have set the helicopter down and said I needed to collect my thoughts. Not Chris. He just said, "Roger, won't happen again," and flew on. And I think that's my biggest memory of Christian, is what a rock he was. and how he just accepted things and just flew on. But the other thing that I remember about Chris is that he had an innate ability to lift people up. He saw the good in everybody. Whether you were a private coming back from boot camp to a new unit that you didn't know anybody, or you were a colonel in charge of the battalion, Chris was part of a team, and that's how he saw himself. And you always felt that you were the most important person to Chris. I remember eating dinner with him at Ruby Tuesdays over a decade ago, and just how special he made me feel, like I was the most important person in the world. And I still remember the conversation that night about how he's working with JoJo on the exterminating company down here, and how his plans for the future. And as a cop, I eat in a lot of restaurants with a lot of people, and I don't remember most of those meals. I remember that one with Chris a long time ago. He was everyone's best friend. I mean, I felt like I was his best friend that night, and shortly after he and Steve and Dan died, we had a memorial service for him, and Major Gagliardo talked about that same thing. He said Chris was everyone's best friend, and I believe that. The other thing I remember about Christian is how humble he was. The guy was a rock. I wouldn't want to fly with anybody but Chris and Steve and Dan. The three guys that were in the cockpit that night in January were three of the best pilots I've ever flown with, and Chris was the best. But he wouldn't tell you he was the best. If you asked Chris who he was, he'd tell you he was part of a team, and that was always who he was. That's who he was in the New York Army National Guard. He wasn't concerned about what his next steps were or what he was going to do. He was concerned with unit morale, and how do we get the guys into this mission, and how do we make them feel like they're part of a team. And that might have been buying T-shirts for the guys, or taking the new second lieutenant who didn't know anything, me, out to dinner at Ruby Tuesdays. It was also true in the New York State Police. In June 2020, Christian was honored by the Red Cross for rescuing an 11-year-old boy from a gorge in Wyoming County. The New York Army National Guard and the State Police fly a lot of gorge. We do a lot in Letchworth State Park. This wasn't one that we knew. This was a gorge in private property, and it was very deep. And Christian grabbed some guys when he heard this 11-year-old was trapped, and they went down to help. And Christian made that rescue happen. That gorge was deeper than most people were prepared to fly. It was a lot hairier than anybody was used to. And he held that helicopter steady and lowered person in a basket 220 feet to rescue an 11-year-old boy. And I wouldn't want to do it. That's a lot of stress. And he was a rock. He made it happen. But, if you read the story about Christian that day, he doesn't take credit for that rescue. His quote was, "Everyone worked together very well that day." That's who he was. He wanted to lift everyone up. He wanted the best out of everybody. Christian was a pilot with the New York State Police for almost 5 years. He was a pilot and crew member on many search and rescue missions, not just that one in Wyoming County. And he was also a bit of an anomaly with us in that he wasn't a trooper. He was somebody that came in as a pilot. And sometimes that's a hard barrier to break when you're not a trooper, you're not wearing this gray bag. Not for Christian. He was well thought of. In fact, the Division of State Police made him a unit trainer. He was instrumental in conducting annual training for division pilots across the state. So again, here he is. He's lifting other people up, other people that needed him, other people that he came through for. He was a beloved member of Aviation Rochester at the Greater Rochester International Airport. He worked there with 5 other pilots in our Special Operations Response Team. I talked to those guys about their memories of him. Their memories were laid back. He was a very laid back individual. Family-centered, professional, a rock under pressure. And some of the funnier memories, if you've ever seen our Special Operations Response Team, it looks like the defensive line for the Buffalo Bills. These guys work out all the time. They're just jacked. And Chris was not. Christian, their memory of Christian was him doing yoga as they did their high-intensity workouts. And also taking time to go out and enjoy the sunshine. While he's in the hangar, he'd be outside eating lunch, soaking in the sun. So it's so great today to see so many supporters of law enforcement. And this is a tough time for law enforcement. So I asked myself this morning, what can we as law enforcement do to build on Christian's legacy? I think there's 3 lessons that we can take from him. 1, lift people up. We live in a nasty time. We live in a time where anybody can get on Facebook and say anything nasty. I call them keyboard terrorists. They don't have to face you face to face. They can tear you down. That wasn't Christian. Christian wanted to lift people up, and that's what we should all seek to do, is lift each other up. Treat others as we want to be treated. I think Christian lived by that rule. And always look for the good in those we serve. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for supporting the blue, black, and gray. And thank you for honoring Christian and his family. Have a safe ride.
If you're just now joining us, we are live at Hemlock, New York, gathered for the Christian Koch Memorial Rally supporting men and women in law enforcement, veterans,
Thank you.
first responders. We've got thousands of people
Blue
here.
Line Ride and Rally
Classic
season,
cars,
we are
motorcycles that'll
honoring
kick off here
not only
in about 20
True
minutes.
Blue,
They will head out of
but
here and go on a
we're
ride
honoring
and then
not
end up
only
back here at this
the,
fairgrounds. But
police officers, law
let's
enforcement,
listen
but
in.
we're honoring military
Again.
and veterans. And Christian embodied all 3 of those, and that's why we chose to include all of them with our We the People organization and We the People Blue Line Ride and Rally and True Blue. And on that note, we want to thank all first responders, not just law enforcement, but fire and rescue, corrections officers, help me out here, EMS, all the first responders that run into danger to keep our communities safe. We thank them for that. They put us before them, and a lot of times, especially with our fire departments in Livingston County, it's volunteer. So I would like you to all give all of our first responders a round of applause. And to speak more about first responders and law enforcement, we have Livingston County Sheriff Tom Doherty to speak.
Good morning, folks. How's everybody doing? That's it? It's all a crowd here. Come on. It's an honor to be here to honor Christian's family, our military, our police, and our first responders. And let me first by saying that on behalf of the men and women of Livingston County Sheriff's Office, our hearts break for Christian and Christian's family. And this is a case that you see any type of responder, and I see the military and police very closely adjoined. It takes a very special family to support someone serving, whether it's military or police. It takes a very special person to grow up and continue to want to do this job, whether it's overseas or on our home turf here. And that is what our law enforcement does daily, is continues to serve on the home turf. And Christian, he went in the military, and then he still had that desire. He still had the desire to serve. And I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if it comes from DNA. I don't know if it comes from our families. I don't know if it comes just through our life experience. But that is so important. We need people to step up, and we need people to serve. And let's not forget that. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here, and I'm so thankful for all you folks who continue to come out to these rallies and show your support. But it's so important right now. It's at a breaking point where we need to know that we need valued members of our military, of our law enforcement, of our first responders, whether it's fire or whether it's EMS. That's what makes our country work. That's what makes us Americans. And so I ask that you continue to rally around our first responders, continue to support our troops, continue to support the families that have lost. And sometimes the media and just sometimes people in the community, they'll say, well, why didn't they get it right? And I can tell you that I've done a lot of training, both life experience training, on-the-job training, different incidents. It is extremely difficult work to work under a millisecond. And I'm so proud of our law enforcement that continue to train for the mission, and for our military that continue to train for the mission, knowing that even when you get it right, There's going to be people that say you got it wrong, which then takes me to my next step. The number one issue in not getting support post-incident is PTSD, which most people know about, post-traumatic stress disorder. And that is a long-term condition that sets in from trauma. And the trauma typically sets in when law enforcement or military, fire, EMS go through a traumatic situation and feel they got it wrong. And I will tell you this, even when we get it right, we quarterback ourselves harder than anyone typically quarterbacks us. The what ifs, the what if I had, my friend wouldn't be hurt, that civilian wouldn't be hurt. All that is so important for long-term prosperity and long-term ability to do these jobs. So again, I know I'm preaching to a choir here of law enforcement supporters and military supporters, but when you're out in the community and someone asks you, why do you support the police? Why do you defend them and not want to defund them? Why do you support folks like Christian and Christian's family? Because that's what makes us America. That's what makes us America. So again, on behalf of the men and women of the Livingston County Sheriff's Office, I'm proud and honored to be here. If you're an outsider from Livingston County, welcome to beautiful Livingston County. I hope you all enjoy a nice, safe ride. God bless our military, God bless our police, and God bless Christian and Christian's family.
Thank you, Sheriff Doherty. And I just want to say that we have come together last year to honor the law enforcement, and this year they do need us more than ever, as Sheriff Doherty had said. And thank you all for coming out and supporting this family, the Koch family, and supporting law enforcement and military. And we are going to have another speaker at the end of the ride. I will come back on in probably about 10 minutes to get everybody started for the ride. So get the last few things you want to do done, get some food over there, get some chicken barbecue or hot dogs and hamburgers, go see our vendors, get your blue line flags. And again, I want us to give the Koch family a round of applause for letting us honor their son and husband and father today. Thank you, and I'll be back on shortly.
All right, if you're just now joining us, we are live in Hemlock, New York.
And the chicken's
Christian
ready, I've
Koch,
been told.
a memorial ride. We got classic cars. We got motorcycles.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We
if you
just
would
heard
like to watch any
from
of
a
this
couple
that was live today. Go to
first responders.
Brightside Broadcasting News Network on
They're
Facebook.
making an announcement right
These
now for
guys
people
are
to come
covering this whole
watch the
ride
coverage on
rally
Right Side, which we
today.
appreciate.
So,
We're glad we're here. This
check
is
it
all
out
about
on social media.
supporting first responders. It's all about supporting our military. That's why we are here on this Sunday. And if you want to help us, you can do us a favor. Go support our patriot himself, Mike Lindell. Go to mypillow.com. There's a reason why we are here. Not only are we fighting for the men and women, we want to honor the men and women who have paid the ultimate sacrifice for keeping our country free and with liberty. Well, Mike Lindell was doing that in his own regard. So please, go to support him as well. Go to mypillow.com. That's mypillow.com and put in the promo code RSBN at checkout, and you'll get up to 66% off on whatever you buy. And there's a store in there. There's more than just pillows and Giza sheets and memory foam mattress tops. There's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff in there made right here in the USA. So go check it out. mypillow.com. Put the promo code RSBN at checkout and get up to 66% off. We're here honoring the men and women of law enforcement. I would like for you guys to go to mypillow.com and let's honor Mike Lindell for what he does for this country, helping us fight for our freedom and liberty. And on this Sunday morning in beautiful upstate New York, I just urge you right now, if you could please go to his website, because a portion of those proceeds go back to us, and they help us do what we're doing here right now. And We can't thank you, the viewer, enough. We are viewer supported, and we've got partners like Mike Lindell, and we got 9 Line Apparel supporting us as well. So please go to his website, mypillow.com, put in promo code RSBN at checkout, and get up to 66% off your entire order. Let's talk about, we just heard you say a couple words on the stage.
Yep.
This is all about supporting everyone, first responders, military veterans, our serving military. People have really paid the ultimate sacrifice in serving our country.
Yes, they have, and that's why we are here, to honor them and to support them, especially in the environment that we have right now. It's very tough on them, and they're still going out and serving and protecting us, even in adversity of words from certain groups that are happening around the country. So we just wanted to do this like we did last year, to let them know that we support them, we are here for them, we do not want them defunded. We have their 6, and we always will, and we thank them from the bottom of our hearts for protecting our communities and helping keep us safe every day. And that's all of the first responders, military, and we thank the veterans, especially with Memorial Day coming up, for their service as well.
Yeah, well, the Koch family was right in front of the stage during all of these speeches, and I can't help but I'd fight back some tears, because
I saw you doing that.
you know, I can't imagine being a family member that's lost somebody serving our country. It's just the most, it's indescribable.
Yeah, it was very difficult. I connected with the Koch family about 3 months ago, and I really learned about Christian and got to know him personally, even though I didn't know him personally, because his family was so passionate and he was such a giving and caring person. So they've been working through everything, and we're hoping that this brings a little closure to them and lets them know how much the community and New York State supports them, because we have people not just from Livingston County, but from all over. And if you're watching from across the country, I know that you're supporting him through your hearts and through watching us today. So,
And prayers right now. A lot of people are praying for.
people are praying, yes. That is what we always hope for, that you people pray for our first responders, keep them in their prayers every day. Every time you hear that fire whistle go off, every time you hear the sirens, every time you see the cars, the law enforcement cars going, they are risking their lives every day. Firefighters running into burning buildings. And so keep that in mind. A lot of people tend to see that and just pull over to the side of the road and think, oh, okay, you know, I'm going to go about my business, when they're there. My future son-in-law-to-be is a volunteer firefighter, and we worry every time the fire whistle goes off. I have 2 nephews that are law enforcement, and so whenever I hear anything going on, we do the same thing. So, you know, it's quite passionate for me.
Let's pan the wheel, show some of the bikes. Let's talk about the people who traditionally show up to this. Of course, we got bikes, we got classes, cars.
Yeah, we last year we started it because it was COVID. There's bike rallies. People really didn't have anywhere to go, and so we saw what was happening, especially in Rochester, in our city that's closest to us, and we decided to boost the law enforcement up. And one of my friend who was up there, Bob Semmel, he said, motorcycles, they don't have anything to do. And so we started with 600 people at our first ride and rally, and by our 5th ride and rally, we had 8,000 people, and it was pretty awesome. And I think we're somewhere in between here, but the bedrock of our rides and rallies are our motorcycle people.
And we've also
our bedrock.
And we've got some classic cars as well. We'll show those. They're kind of parked off and away, but we're glad you're joining us. We are so happy. Give me a hug.
And thank you very much for coming and putting this on live. Usually we don't get positive feedback from it, but you're showing what our rides and rallies are truly about. And so, I mean, I wish people could do this all across the country.
Maybe they will.
To help first responders and let them know, because I know other areas also are going through the same thing we are.
And this goes into a little different category for right side viewers. They're not used to seeing us at kind of non-political events, but we think it's important to just, really support our law enforcement and our military and our veterans, and so that's why we're here. So is there a website they can follow you guys on social media?
Yeah, well, I have a Facebook page called Blue Line Ride and Rally Organization. That one's public. And then there's a private page, True Blue-New York. And so that one you have to ask to be a member of it. And that's where most of our information, or if people want to private message us and find out more about what's going on. Also, I just wanted to say that we also have that whole lot of trucks that have the military flags, and we don't want political involved in this. We want politics left out of it. We are non-political, and
You've done a great job at that. I've seen nothing but American flags and back the blue, and that's what this is all about. All right, we're going to walk around some of these motorcycles. So the start is right over there, right?
it's happening right over there, and then we are going to have, at the conclusion, we're going to have constitutional Sheriff Matt coming in to speak about constitutionality and law enforcement and military.
Well, God bless you. All right, we'll
Thank
see.
you
We'll
for
see you a little
coming.
bit later.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and walk through here. Yes, we're live on the air right now. So there you go. And she just said she didn't want to be on the air. So there you go. Let's take a look at this. This is kind of the start of all of this. There's bikes everywhere. Guys, thanks for coming. Thank you. Hey, what does it mean to you to be out here right now?
Pardon?
What does it mean to you to be out to show to an event like this?
About everything.
Yeah.
The emotional support and just the sport in general.
Yeah.
I have police in my family, so it means a lot.
Where's your bike? Right back there?
Back there.
How fun is it to drive through the country roads here in upstate New York?
It's awesome.
I got an extra helmet. I'll
Yep.
take you along
Hey,
with
it's
me.
funny. We were talking about that earlier, how we would love to go for a ride, but we don't know how we can swing that. But you never know. Maybe next year.
I got an extra helmet. I got an extra helmet right in the back
I would love that. Hey, what brings you here today?
to support our brothers in law enforcement, first responders, EMTs, fire department. Basically, I'm sorry about
No,
that.
that's quite okay.
We try to support all law enforcement, military, EMTs, and right now we got to show support for our law enforcement because we need them, and we want them to know that they do matter. Their lives matter, and we need them out there taking care of business because when we sleep at night, we're safe because of them.
Let's do Bike 101. What you riding today?
I'm riding a 107 Ultra Limited. It's an old man geezer glide, but it's smooth. I just came back from Florida. I met your reporter down there for a Trump rally.
Oh, yeah, West Palm Beach area, right?
West Palm Beach. We're with Trump Train.
So you rode this bike down to Florida?
Yes, I put 5,000 miles on it.
Hey, that sounds like a rally in itself to go from here to Florida, but I love it. I'm glad you guys are out here. God bless each and every one of you.
If you want to ride, I got an extra helmet, and you're more than welcome to ride along. I guarantee you'll love it. You can't experience this ride unless you're on a bike because the people in the towns, they all come out in their streets, they're waving flags, and it's just wild.
Yeah, it's wild. I've heard it. Well, thank you. God bless, man. I might take you up on that. I appreciate it. Thank you for spending time with us. Yes, sir. Hey, you heard that? Put it in the chat. If you want me to jump on a bike, let me know. But we are at the very beginning of this, and like he says, when they roll through the communities here, thousands of people turn out and show their support, and it's one of those things that we've seen, people gather around freeways and hang flags over overpasses. You know the feeling you get with that. Well, from what I understand, this is that times 100 because there's a total meaning and memory out of all this. Of course, we heard all the kind words about Christian Koch and the way he served our country and the kind of character that he was all about. And that's really what we're honoring today, not only his legacy, but other people who serve this country and unselfishly, and they put their safety aside and do what's best for the public safety and not necessarily their safety. But we're glad that you're joining us here. And of course, you can always get this content on our brand new app. That's right. We've been talking about it for several months now, and it's finally here. We have an app. If you go to our Apple store or our Android store and search RSBN, you can download our app. We're going to have this content plus many other programs right on our app, things you won't see on YouTube or Facebook. So please go to our Android or your Apple store right now, download our app, RSBN, and always have it on your phone, and you'll get notifications when we go live, which is great because there's certain content that we just can't show on normal social media platforms. Also, you can find us on Roku as well. Roku, go to your TV, get the Roku app on your smart TV. You can watch us on that as well. So different platforms rolling out. And it's all about content at this point as we kind of move past the election cycle. We're getting into more events like this, Backing the Blue. We've got some other outdoor programs coming as well. So please go download our app today. And while you're at it, go help our friend Mike Lindell. You want to talk about a guy who's been nothing but a patriot. Go to mypillow.com, mypillow.com. Put in the promo code RSBN at checkout, and you'll get up to 66% off your total order. Supporting him is supporting us indirectly. We do get a proceeds of those sales, so if you could please help us out on that. And you can always go to our website, rsbnetwork.com, rsbnetwork.com. You could donate there and plus get a lot of information about all the things that we're doing right now. She is making announcements right now about the rally and instructions on how they want all these people to roll out of here. Of course, you want to talk about, organizing thousands of motorcycles and cars leaving this particular area. It takes a lot of organization, a lot of coordination between local authorities here to make sure it's safe. So we're gonna start at the beginning. Let's go ahead and walk over this way, Will. Let's walk straight, and we'll get to the yes, sir. Hang on.
That's the order.
Yes, sir.
Just wanted you to know I'm here.
Yes, sir. We're live on there. Sheriff, nice of you. Yes, sir. Sheriff.
We're live. Okay.
We know you're going to speak a little bit later, but what does it mean to be here right now?
This is awesome. I mean, this is really awe-inspiring, and for the reason that we're here, this isn't politically correct at all. This is pro-military, pro-law enforcement, and pro-America. I mean, she just announced and called everybody here patriots, and that's exactly what this is. Very patriotic, very American, and a memorial service for people who've dedicated their lives to protecting others.
You just took the words right out of my mouth a few minutes ago, because this is about the people who put their safety aside for the safety of others.
Yeah, exactly. And I did that 20 years, and I know what it's about, and it's a very noble job, and it's a very noble position to have in the community. And all this talk about defunding police, it just shows how insane we've become as a country. Absolute insanity.
If you would have told me 30 years ago that there'd be a movement to basically defund our police departments, the people that very well keep us safe from the 1%ers of the world who commit the crimes, I would tell you you're crazy.
I would have told you that 3 years ago. 3 years ago. But yeah, the last 16 months has just been too insane. It's just been too insane. So,
and then when we even look at the border, what's going on with the border? I mean, the Border Patrol, they're under more insanity. Yeah. So what if there's things that we can call on our viewers to do right now? What can they do to ensure that their local police departments around the country don't go through defunding? They stop the rhetoric of taking away, the police and their authority to keep law and order in our cities.
Of course, you've got to make sure your voices are heard. You can't sit back and say, oh, look at all this insanity. You've got to be involved. You've got to get up to the plate. You've got to swing a big bat, and you've got to make sure the politicians in this state and in your city and your communities, your counties, hear from you. And I love the people that have been doing that already at school boards, at city councils, at state legislatures. Make your voice heard. And remember, this is a peaceful process.
Absolutely peaceful. Okay, we're going to make our way over there. Thank you so much, and we're going to see you after the rally. Which motorcycle are you riding today?
If I had my pick, probably that blue one right there.
I do like that blue one right there. I had an offer already to jump on the back of a motorcycle with the helmet and everything, and
I just bought my wife a Dodge Charger Super Bee. I should have brought it with me.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're glad you're here. God bless you for all the work that you're doing, because it takes patriots like yourself, because he's right. The 1%ers of the world, the small group that's making the chatter and trying to get legislation changed that makes our life worse. We've got to overcome that peacefully and protect what we have, our God-given rights and our life, our rights to be safe and live a peaceful life.
Yes, and we can take America back, county by county and state by state, and peacefully We don't need violence. If you're at any rally like this and you start committing violence, you're not a protester anymore. You're a crook.
I agree. You're a crook and you should be locked up. All right, well, we're gonna make our way over there. Thank you, appreciate it. And of course, hey, I wouldn't mind getting on the back of one of these bikes and stuff. That'd be kind of fun, right? Let's say real quickly before we get started, what is this? I know you reached out to me on Facebook and you're like, hey, we got this wonderful ride. What does it mean to see all these people that have shown up? Because you, at the very beginning, had humble beginnings. Now you've got thousands of people.
Yeah, patriotism. I just feel patriotism. I feel like everybody here has red, white, and blue running through their veins. They love the country. I love the whole idea. Yeah. You know, I love afterwards looking back going, wow. Wow. You know?
Yeah. Well, what time you roll out of here today?
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. All right, let's check the clock. We're probably getting close. There we go. It is. Oh, we got 9 minutes before we're going to crank these bad boys up and get out of here. And, of course, we've got classic cars back there as well. We've got
cars in the back.
And there's more cars in the back. We've got lifted trucks. So if you're a car enthusiast, a motorcycle enthusiast, this is your broadcast today. And, of course, it all has a great message. It's remembering Christian Koch. And I got to tell you, Christian Koch, I'm sorry, but I was getting a little teared up out there listening to the stories about this gentleman.
Yeah, it is. It's emotional. It's emotional. And I think it's great that this is really a blue line ride and rally thing going on here. You know, True Blue New York. What I did, kind of brought people together that were that had the same ideas and thoughts, and they felt that they were alone, almost like they were like little groups. So True Blue New York brought everybody together on the internet. Blue Line Ride and Rally brought them all together face to face.
So we have people here from all around New York.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, I've got some roots down here, and my wife's from Middletown, New York. She's just upstate. When I first met my wife, when she said she's from upstate New York, and she says I lived in West Point, Middletown area, I got the map out. And I said, wait a minute, that's not upstate. Rochester's upstate. That's upstate New York.
Yeah. No, there's they come from all over,
but
not really all over New York. Pretty much just Western New York.
Yeah, I love it out here. I love it out here. It's beautiful. We're glad to be here. We're going to make our way over there, so we're getting right in the right spot to get this thing kicked off. Right. And we are just having a great time. Yes, ma'am.
Get a minute. Come on up.
Yes, we'll come on up there and talk to you guys. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So here we go. This is where we're at. This is what's happening today. We heard the speakers earlier. It is about honoring our military, our police officers, our veterans, our men and women, our first responders, our EMS techs. It's honoring all of them. And that's why we're here. And you know what we heard earlier, one of the best things you can do right now is pray for our men and women who serve this country. Pray for them every day. Pray for their safety. Pray for the blessings of their family. Pray for financial favor towards them. Pray for them to be protected from the evil forces that want to defund them, that want to eliminate them from our society. And we heard the sheriff earlier talk about how they're making millisecond decisions on what they can do, what they should do in a situation. And a lot of times, it can go either way, and whatever way that goes, it weighs on them, on their heart personally. So pray for their conscience, pray for their peaceful nature of making the right decision. We've heard a couple of motorcycles crank up here shortly, and we got some coming through. It's fun. This is something that I got to be honest with you. I'm sorry? Okay, wonderful. Okay, wonderful. Charles wants to talk to us. Charles is one of the organizers here, and he wants to pass along a message to me real quick. Yes, sir. Well, we're live on the air, so hey, what's going on?
No, I just wanted to mention that Eugene right here, he's doing a Daryl Pearson ride, August 14th. It's the same concept. Daryl Pearson.
Same get together with rally.
Yep, and that's going to be in Monroe County, and it's going to be probably as big as this, if not bigger.
Okay. Well, we definitely want to put a shout out. How can people get more information on that?
You can follow my page at Patriots4 First Responders. We got a group on it, as well as Gino Mack. And my last name is SCHLESING. I post on there, and it's all over Facebook, really.
Yeah, well, you send me the information. We'll put it up on our Right Side Broadcasting. So we'll make sure that we support all. So if you live in upstate New York, Western New York, you need to come here and support all of this. Now, let me tell you something. People that you go through these cities, they're going to be out front with American flag. There's something to see, right?
They're out there with flags. The patriotism, you have people that, like last year, would just stop and just put their lawn, like their weed whacker.
Where should I stand real quick? Because I want to make sure I get in the right position.
Yeah, right up in that area.
Okay, this is where everyone's coming, right?
Ladies and
All right.
gentlemen, the motorcycle.
I'll tell you what we can
now
do.
need to line
Let's get on this side of the road and let's just shoot right here. Let's shoot back this way. We got the nice flag behind us. So we'll get the motorcycles cranked up. We're so glad you're joining us today. I'm probably at some point going to just shut the heck up and let these bikes roll by and let you hear some of the power and just the goodness of all these motorcycles. But we're so glad you're joining us. Like I said, support our patriot, Mike Lindell, over at mypillow.com, because he's enabling us to do what we're doing today. We're doing all kinds of different types of broadcasting, different genres, different programming, and this is just one of them. So please go to support him at mypillow.com, mypillow.com. Don't forget that promo code RSBN at checkout and get up to 66% off. Let's go and move up a little bit more, Will. I want to make sure we get everybody here. All right, if you're just now joining us, we are live in Hemlock, New York, just south of Rochester, upstate New York area, western New York, beautiful area. Weather, upper 70s, a little overcast, slight chance of rain later, but guess what? We're hoping that that does not happen until we're out of here. So we're going to let some of these motorcycles go by and let you enjoy. If you're a motorcycle enthusiast, you're a car enthusiast, you're a classic car enthusiast, you might want to tag somebody on this post and share it if you could, because you're going to see all those here today. Let's see if we can move around about right here. Are you the first bike?
Yes, I am. How you doing?
So what does this mean to you right now to be out here?
I help organize these, so yeah, it's quite inspiring actually. A lot of people that along the same wavelength that you are, back in the police and the military and EMS. I just think it's awesome. Gives you chills.
Yeah, I'm getting chills just watching this. This is bike number 1 here for us. And like I said, guys, we certainly appreciate your support. You can go, make sure you download our app, though. That is a good resource to get a lot of broadcasts that we don't normally can put on YouTube or Facebook, but obviously today this is very safe broadcasting, so that's why you're seeing it across all of our platforms. So make sure you go to our Apple and the iOS store on your phone, download the RSBN app, and have that ready so that when you get these notifications of certain things that we can't broadcast, at least you'll be able to see it all. And of course, it was very some touching moments earlier from the Koch family, talking about the Koch family and about his service to our country. 20-year veteran of the New York National Guard, a pilot as well, and just an amazing, amazing human. And so we're here to honor him and others that have really given the ultimate sacrifice in serving our communities. And this is all about them. So all the stuff you see, video of defunding the police or any type of anti-police rhetoric, you're not getting that today. And Right Side Broadcasting stands for law enforcement. We stand for our military. We stand for law and order. And that's exactly what we're doing here today. And we're glad that you're joining us right here on Right Side. I would imagine if there's a motorcycle of choice so far today, it has been Harley, second up by the Honda Gold Wings. If I'm not a motorcycle expert by any means, but this is 2 of the brands you see here a lot. Maybe after this, we'll go get a motorcycle. I don't know.
I'm going to be going with an Indian if we're going with motorcycles.
I think you're right on that. There's a lot of Indians out here as well. Of course, Will, our amazing camera op that's with me today here in New York. First time you've been to the Rochester area. I've really, a couple times we've been here in New York. We were in the city not too long ago. And we are led by the New York State Police. They are leading the pack here. We've got these guys going to pull out first with the flags. And this is really a coordinated effort across the state of New York in this particular area. We've got all these streets, the highways rather, have law enforcement there with their lights on to make sure that everyone's safe crossing. So this is a coordinated effort to make sure that everyone's safe. God bless you guys.
You too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You too, guys.
And here we go. Bike number 1 off. And as I said, the bikes will go first, followed by the classic cars. All right, if you're just now joining us, share this broadcast as we are covering one of the largest motorcycle classic car rallies in support of our law enforcement agencies that's in New York. And we're glad that you're joining us here. And of course, the motorcycles go out first, then we got the classic cars, followed up by the off-road vehicles as well. And it seems like the first year he said they had about 600 motorcycles, and it has grown to well over 1,000, and even classic cars and just really just normal people that say, hey, I want to jump into this rally and support our police officers and first responders. So this has really grown, and so you'll see several vehicles here today. You'll see the kind of the three-wheel thing. You'll see some all-terrain vehicles. Even got a guy smoking a cigar. Hey, let me know how that works out for you. I like that. Anyway, here comes the one of those slingshots. They're pretty cool. And of course, if you've noticed, there is no political flags here at all. These are all United States flags, back to blue flags. And this is what it's all about. So this is a very non-political event. It's just the love of country and the love and support for our police officers. So that's why you don't see any type of any other flag other than the American flag, which is beautiful. Got a lot of thumbs up here coming from these people. And of course, I would imagine what this looks like along the road. It's got to, with everyone going by, it's just got to be something special. So it looks like we're coming down to like maybe the last 10% of the bikes, and then that will move on to the classic cars and then the street cars as well. And of course, you've heard some of the speakers say earlier that if you want, try to organize something like this in your own community. Get together. It seems like motorcycle enthusiasts it's a community, it's a family. So I can only imagine you'll find support in your area to do something very similar to this. So try to organize something in this community and grow it. And if anything, you just let it show support for our local police departments, which is why we are here today. Flags that say "I stand with police," which is nice. Always good to see. How you doing? Good. And of course, they've got food here, and I would imagine when they wrap it up and come back this way, it'll be lunchtime for a lot of these people. The constitutional sheriff that we spoke to earlier is going to speak after this ride. All right, if you're just now joining us, we are live in Hemlock, New York, just south of Rochester, New York, for one of the largest pro-military, first responders, police ride around. It's honoring Christian Koch, an officer that had lost his life in an accident. And so not only this is here to remember him, but it's also to remember all of those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in defending our country in our communities. And we're just glad to be back here today to do this. And hopefully you're enjoying it. And please write in the comments section where you're from and you back the blue. Matter of fact, maybe we can get a little hashtag trend going on, back to blue. Put that in your comments section. We would love to read some of those later. Looks like we're down to the very last couple of motorcycles here, and then that will transition over to the cars, the classic cars and the trucks. So it's more than just motorcycles, and I was told as kind of how this developed, it was just motorcycles. And then when it got hugely successful, people with cars said, look, I don't own a motorcycle, but I would love to support what you're doing. And well, then that's when the cars came into the picture. And I think it's beautiful because a lot of people want to show their support. They want the camaraderie of all of this, but they don't have a motorcycle. But here's our first car. Looks like a convertible Ford Mustang G. We should have just got a convertible Mustang GT and came out here and did this. That would have been beautiful. Maybe we can plan on that next year. Anyway, so now we got the cars going by a little bit less noisy than the bikes were. Convertible Corvette, nice. I'm gonna play auto show here for a second. Convertible Chrysler Sebring. There you go, a nice little Buick. And it seems like the path for this ride is about a 40-minute ride around this county. So they're expected to be here in about 40 to 45 minutes. I guess that all depends on the flow of traffic and crossing some of these major or these highways in this area. So I don't know particularly what time they'll be back, but that's what they tell me. So we're going to kind of wait here for a while and see if we can get some people coming back here. And like I said, this is all about supporting law enforcement and first responders, firefighters, and really everyone who just kind of puts their own safety on the line. Now it looks like we're getting into maybe more of the trucks, I think. And we had a little bit of cars mixed in there earlier. We had some bagpipes earlier. Let's see if we can go get some shots of them. That started just right before our broadcast. It was a beautiful thing. They played for a few minutes. And of course, we had an amazing flyover of some helicopters. So if you missed that, when this is over, go back and watch it from the beginning and watch that, as it was amazing. It would bring a tear to your eye, to be quite honest with you, and it did on me. So go back and watch that as well. And you can't help but think about everyone who's watching this today, either here in person or online, knows someone, maybe close to them, friend of the families, that have lost someone in their lives that served our country. And my thoughts and prayers go out to your family, your heart, to your community, to your police station, your fire station, your military squadron. My prayers go out to you, because I count my blessings every day that we live in the greatest country in the world, and it's because men and women like you that makes it happen. So we're glad to be here, and we're glad to be able to have the privilege of doing this. Sometimes I'm just a lack of words, and this is one of them right now. Got some Jeeps moving through here. All right, a lot of beeps and horns. This is always nice. All right, looks like the classic cars are starting to fill in here in just a few minutes. Now, we've got some great classic cars. If you're a Corvette enthusiast, we've got a few of those. If you got a Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am, Pontiac Trans Am, which Will and I are thinking about hijacking later and going for a ride, we got those as well. So stay tuned for that here in a few minutes. Those should be pulling out. Right now we've got just all the trucks and Jeeps that are here assembled today. Also, we want to just thank you, the viewer, our supporters. I mean, to think that we went from standing on the risers at Trump rallies to standing here in upstate New York bringing you this coverage is amazing. And so we want to thank you. And we've had people that have been with us from day one, and it's just it's your financial giving that allows us to do that. We've got a nice little H1 Hummer coming up. I want to see if we can take a shot of that. That would be one of my personal favorites, I think. Absolutely. But anyways, it's viewers like you that's enabled us to do this, so we want to thank you. We, from the bottom of our heart, thank you for supporting Right Side Broadcasting and all of the efforts. All right, here's our first classic car category of the day. At this point, from this far, I don't know, Will, that is a Chevelle. Is that right? A Chevelle, yes. 350 Chevelle, followed up by an M-Series Beamer. There you go, and the Chrysler. I love it. And Chrysler Newport on that, followed up by a Chevy Corvette. A couple Corvettes lined up here, different generations of Corvettes. How you doing? Of course, a lot of people waving to us, and I wish we could talk to them, but that would... A GTO. Now, that was one of our favorites there. Will and I can both agree that GTO is something else. Corvette Stingray is always a classic. A couple of Dodge Challengers coming in here as well. Here you go. Here, this is a. I want to say it's. There you go. Here's our Smokey and the Bandit car right here. Yeah. He might be shooting the next episode out here. You never know. Yeah, don't get me singing that song. Another GTO that's beautiful. And here comes like a little rat rod here. That was just kind of nice. It says, we are forever grateful for your service on the back of that vehicle. And how true is that? We are very grateful for their service. Now we're getting into just, I'm going to call them civilian cars, but these are the cars that didn't meet the classic car category. These are just simply everyday drivers, and so we are glad that they're here as well. And if you live up in this part of the country, watch this broadcast, go back and maybe get involved. There's some content. We'll have some contact information we'll put in the post-production on this. So if you want to get involved next year, you may do so. Or of course, if you feel inclined to do this in your own area and support your law enforcement there, you can do that as well. It doesn't take a whole lot, right? You can get a car club in your area and say, let's all get together and let's honor our police departments. And I would imagine in today's climate, that is probably something that people would want to do. And we heard a lot of people talk about it so far today, about the defund the police and the efforts that are out there right now to basically, take the power away from law enforcement of what they can do and protect us. Because let's just be honest. I mean, law-abiding citizens are threatened by the 1%ers of the world that feel like they're above the law, or the law has no repercussions on what they do. So their job is to protect us from them. And that 1%ers has no race, no gender, no ethnicity at all. It's just the law. It's just people who just don't follow the law. And so that's why we have law enforcement. So we're out here supporting them, and hope you are doing the same. If you would please just tag a friend, share this broadcast, and let the world know that we are here. Now this is our first 18-wheeler of the car show competition. You know what? Probably a pretty comfortable ride, I would say, on that. Look at this classic. That's a classic Ford custom cab, forward cab truck. Very cool. I like that. Now that's be followed up by our fire department coming through here. engine number 2 coming through. Now look at that guy back in the back having to steer that. That's the job I want after this. When I retire, that's what I want. Here comes a cat. All right. I think we got a few more coming. Now that we've been completely sandblasted by all the road here, we'll say this, but it's worth it right now. Standing here is worth it. And of course, we could not do this without you, our viewers, so we really appreciate all of your involvement with us. And I will continue to say, go to rsbnetwork.com, rsbnetwork.com/donate if you'd like to donate and help us continue to bring this content to you. And of course, it doesn't take much as dollar-wise on your part, because collectively we can raise a lot together. So please go to rsbnetwork.com/donate, rsbnetwork.com/donate, and give what you can right now. And that definitely helps us come out and cover events like this. So we're glad that you do that, and we appreciate your support. Of course, you can follow me on social media at Brian Glenn TV, at Brian Glenn TV on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. I have a verified page on my professional page on Facebook. Go follow me on that. You can also go to Instagram at Brian Glenn TV as well. And as we will continue to put up images from here on all of our social media platforms. And of course, if you're not following us on Instagram, go do that as well. Just go search Right Side Broadcasting on Instagram. And if you're not following us on Twitter, go follow us on Twitter and like us and follow us on Facebook, because we have seen that big tech has really had the thumb on a lot of our content, and sometimes it's tough to get the views up on our content, because if you're following us, perhaps you're not getting notifications that we're actually going live. So if you would please share this broadcast, that helps us get as many eyeballs as possible. Let's go talk to the sheriff over here. Let's take a walk, as it looks like everyone is gone. It might be 40 minutes or so before they come back, and I want to make sure that we at least are able to talk to you. Hey, Sheriff, can we talk to you for a few minutes? Brian Glenn with Right Side Broadcasting. Hi, Brian. Thanks. Man, what does this mean to you to be out here and see all the support for law enforcement?
Oh, it's just awesome. Time and time again, people show up, and today it's real special because you got not only honoring the military, honoring police, but Christian and Christian's family. And I think it's so important for Christian's family to see it and feel that support, because I'm sure that'll stick with them.
Yeah, and I think the rhetoric that you talked about earlier around the country, you see all the calls to defund police or to take the power away from police, even take the ability to patrol, which decriminalized theft in certain states. Now is the time for people to step up and really realize we need law enforcement in our lives and our communities to keep us safe from essentially the 1%ers of the world who are causing trouble.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we just need to hold the line, and I really do think that this is just a brief time period in our lives, and it too will pass, but we need to make sure that folks understand, what do the police do? What does our military do? What do these first responders do? Because without first responders, we don't have a country. We really just don't have a country. And so, especially with law enforcement, that's where you hear the rally cry the loudest out of this squeaky wheel is defund, defund, defund. But there's countless stories every day throughout this country of cops putting themselves in danger to save complete strangers.
The guy that flipped over the car by himself?
I saw the body cam of the woman was trapped, I believe it was a woman, and he gets the car off of her. And you know, it's even beyond that. There's large things that happen every day, and there's very small things that happen every day that matter. And mentoring with children, and that breeds the desire to serve in the future. Again, if we don't have folks who want to serve their communities, what do we have?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I remember being a kid, and that was one of the things people wanted to be, a police officer, a firefighter. I don't see that now being told to our kids that, hey, you should grow up to be a police officer, because of the nonsense you see in the media and people that constantly attack police officers.
Yeah, I have a 3-year-old son that talks about being a deputy sheriff every single day. And, you know, I'm completely torn in one regard because of all the noise and of, are they going to take away qualified immunity that puts your family in jeopardy of lawsuits that can really take away your personal money, you know? And people say, well, cops should be held accountable. Well, guess what? You can already hold them personally accountable if they operate outside the rules and regulations or the rule of law. So that already exists. But yeah, I think that a lot of parents are probably having similar conversations with their children and deciding, do I want to continue to buy my kid police cars or should I buy him some more fire trucks? And so, again, I think that we need to hold the line. I think we need to stand proudly and tell the stories of heroes throughout our country every day, big and small.
Yeah, and you see the stories of departments around the country with people. A lot of people retiring right now. A lot of people have been there for 20 years are going, you know, I can't do anymore. We need a new generation to step up and enlist.
I agree.
How do we replace those that are retiring?
I agree. And if you talk to any sheriff in New York State, any police chief in New York State, heck, talk to the state police who have a very good benefit package compared to us, everybody is having problems with recruitment. It's not about paying benefits anymore. It's about that support. And that support is key. I think that's what it all hinges around is we need to rally behind our police and our first responders and support them.
What got you started? What got you wanting to serve your community?
You know, I was a little kid and I remember being out waiting for the school bus and I had an uncle who was a police chief in Avon where I grew up. And I remember him driving by and always hitting the air horn and waving at me. And I thought, you know what? I think I want to grow up and go into law enforcement. And then I did a job shadow when I was in high school. And my mom said, you're going to go to college because you're going to be a smart cop. And I went and got my bachelor's degree. And pretty much as soon as I graduated, I started taking tests, became a deputy on patrol, then an investigator, and then ran for sheriff.
Love it. Now you're going to run for governor here in a little bit. It's what you ought to do. Go run for governor.
Well, thanks. And I'm thankful for everybody being here, and I'm thankful for you folks highlighting it. So
we appreciate it. We want to shine a light on law enforcement because they are the rock of our society, and we push them aside. I think chaos ensues. Like you said, our freedom and liberty starts with law and order. And so, beautiful part of New York. I've never been up here now. I got family that live close to here.
I often say that I'm not so sure I belong in New York State, but I definitely belong in Livingston County because this is a great county, and they've been great supporters for us. So I'm very thankful.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for your service. Thank you very much.
Yep, take care.
And we're looking forward to those vehicles and those motorcycles coming back. As you can see, they've got some food here. Oh, got some chicken grilling over there. Looks and smells good. Tastes good. Also, if you could do us a favor, go download our new app. You know, we've been talking about this for months about having this new app. It enables us to put certain content that we haven't been able to put on traditional social media platforms, but we can now do that with our app. So go to your Apple Store, your iOS store, and download RSBN app. And of course, you'll get notifications when we go live on there. Of course, you can also watch this show and other shows we've done before all on our app. It's a safe platform. It enables us as we get closer to some events in our nation's in our future that we're going to be able to cover that we won't be able to put on YouTube and Facebook and some other social media platforms that we're on right now. So please, please, please go download our app. And we've got some other programs coming out and all the shows. The Joe Kozo show is on. The 13-minute news hour with Bobby Eberly is on there as well. We've got some other programs coming out. The Counterculture Mom's on there. We've got some good stuff coming out to Right Side. So please go download our app today and you'll be able to view all of that. And of course, you can always stream us on YouTube and Facebook. Let's see if I can get a few words with Charles. Now, of course, okay, we just witnessed all those motorcycles and cars riding out of here, and how does that make you feel? Because, I mean, every year it gets bigger.
It's incredible. You know, I think the bikes didn't show up like they normally do because...
a little chant of rain.
A lot of times they don't trust it, because we actually had like a lot more. We've had, you know something? I'm watching you on this. I'm hearing.
That's awesome. That reminds me. Go download our app right now. Right? We're on the air right now. Isn't that wonderful? It happens all the time to us. Now, but it's interesting because there's a chance of showers a little bit later this afternoon, so it might have slowed the bike people down. But everyone we talked to was so fired up to be here.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. Like I said, the Patriots. These are all people that love this country, and we're gonna have 5 more, I think, throughout the summer. and it's going to be the same thing. And we just, people, I'll tell you what, I'd like to get, too bad you couldn't get the footage of the people out on the roads and on the streets.
I really wish. It's the one guy offered to get me on the back of a bike and go for a ride. I almost took him up on that. You see, like, the boaters coming together, and you see boat parades for military and police departments. Not a bad idea to get your bikes together as well.
You know something? It's really, I had somebody last year when I started True Blue New York, I had somebody that wanted to start one in California. And I go, great, let's do it, and I'll tell you how I do it here at True Blue New York and everything.
Give them the little blueprint of all of it.
Exactly. So I went to do it, but then they backed out. They got a little nervous. It was actually an ex-officer that wanted to do it, but he kind of backed out a little bit. But if anybody wants to, just look up True Blue New York and look me up, and I'll help them out, because I think it should be spread across this whole nation.
Can you imagine if a city in your area and you're like, hey, I really like what I'm seeing. Well, why don't you put it together? You can find a bike club around there. There's a lot of bikers there. There's go to your local Harley dealer probably.
And they're all patriots. Really. But Roberta's got the blueprint. She's got the blueprint for getting the rallies together. I mean, she has it on the PDF to where she has like all the details, like contact law enforcement, can't do this, get your location in order, so they could, it's people could do it. They should be doing this all over the country. I agree. Because it really brings out the patriotism in everybody, and and then when you're all done, for people that want to do it, when you're all done, it's like we look back and go, wow, what an unbelievable feeling. But
and the constitutional sheriff, I know he's around here somewhere. We talked to him earlier. Sheriff Mack, and he's an amazing individual that's going around the country. He's talking to departments, talking to people about really keeping us strong, keeping our departments funded. It's important that happens.
Yes, yeah. Oh, I love Sheriff Mack. I've been following him for like 10 years, and then when I contacted him, they said they would do it. I was like, wow. I almost got kind of giddy about it, I really did, because I've been following him for like 10 years, but and he actually took his time out, because he's got a busy schedule. Also, rerouted his air trip to make it here for this, and it's like unbelievable, because the guy's busy. The guy's real busy.
And lots going on in New York. You got a governor race coming up. You've got a lot of people that are a mayor race in New York City. There's a lot of things happening in New York, as like other states around the country. So if you're watching us and you feel inspired in your area to put together a rally to support your local police departments, how can somebody get a hold of you to get those blueprints possibly?
Go right on Facebook, really. Go to True Blue New York. You'll see there's 17,400 followers. Yeah. All right.
Got some followers there now, man.
I'll tell you what, it blew up. I woke up one morning, it was like 1,200 one morning. It was like, wow. And but we're pretty strict about letting people in.
Yeah, you are. I actually sent you. I messaged you and said, "Hey, I want to join." And I love the fact that you don't let everybody in there, because you don't want people coming in there and trolling other people and turn this into some type of hateful conversation, and would then eventually lead to you guys getting kicked off or suspended from Facebook. So it's a very smart move controlling your group.
Yeah, we started out right off the bat. I figured no politics. There's no politics at all. Mm-hmm. And because of the fact that I had a feeling that we didn't want to turn it into a political group, because it would have. I mean, I get people mad at me when they go to do this stuff. A lot of times I see the stuff they want to post because we pre-approve them. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I love this, and it's like, can't do it. Yeah. But we don't want to turn it into a political.
If it's pro-America and pro-police, then it's flying.
The patriots are there. So what we really do is we like to try to make a statement without saying a word. I've been saying that. We make a statement without saying a word.
What's interesting how you don't see any protest here for this. I mean, you'd have to be a complete fool to protest a pro-police rally. Are you telling me they're out there?
No, last year we might have some people out there flipping you the finger here and there.
It's normal for us, the haters, right?
But they were not out there. I'll tell you what, I think they looked at us and went, wow, they don't know what to make of what to make of all of it. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, RSBN Network /donate to these guys. This guy's fantastic. I can't believe they came up here to do this show live.
We talked about 3 months ago. We talked about doing this, and I said, hey, I'd like to go up there and highlight this event. And I think it's very important to us as a network and to our viewers, because we're in a point in history, and I think Sheriff Mack talked about this, that we're at a point where we've got to stand up and fight for our police departments and law and order. So it's important for us as a network, and I know it is for you, the viewer. So I thank you for allowing us to come here and do this.
Yeah, I really thank you. Because like I said, last year we had rides where the local media would say, oh, a couple hundred people showed up to a Back to Blue rally, right? And then when like the Monroe County ride, we had like 5,000 to 6,000. That was the first big one. And then they're rolling down the streets, and you got the trucks, you got to see the big trucks honking the horns, the motorcycles coming through. And I know people were looking out their windows going, what's going on, and watching it. And then hopefully they're thinking, a couple hundred people. Hopefully it kind of like triggered something up there going, it's not, it was more than a couple hundred people. It was like 5,000 to 6,000.
That's kind of what Wright said, how we got put on the map, all these Trump rallies. And of course, Trump would say, show the crowds. And of course, the CNNs and everyone else in the world would not show the crowd. But yet we panned the crowd to show the 10,000 people that could not even get into the gate. I mean, that's kind of what we're known for.
Yes, and that's what, everything's raw with you guys. And that's why I've been watching you for the last, 2017.
Raw's a great word for that.
It is. It's raw.
When it's live, things happen, and of course, you just go with the flow, and it's unedited, and that's kind of the way we like certain things to be. But it's great. Hey, I'm glad the rain held off because it could be pouring right now.
Well, I just had this feeling it'll be fine. It's like it'll be fine. Everything will work out. But I'll tell you what. Last year, I've done a couple interviews with some of the local media, and I would get this cringe. And I would, I had my daughter, I looked right into the camera and I had my daughter videotape because I told him, I go, you guys edit this to make this look different. I'm going to put both videos side by side. My daughter was right behind the guy filming the same thing, but talking to you guys, it's like I've known you forever.
Yeah,
it's easy. It's easy.
It's
I don't
easy.
have to worry about nothing.
No, you don't have to worry about anything. It's all going to go. And of course, even when we were in D.C., when we ran across conflicting viewpoints on the election, I let them talk. I want them to voice out their opinion. I'm going to voice out mine, and it is what it is. And that's kind of that's why we have the greatest country in the world. Freedom of speech. If someone was to walk in here right now and walk through those gates and say, I want to defund police, I would be the first person to say why. And I want to know the reason why. To your point, that's what it's all about here, is we try to make it as raw and an open discussion. And that's really what it is, Charles. It's an open discussion, not only about police, but our military and our everything, our border. I mean, immigration reform, things that are going on the border right now. I talked about that earlier. Border Patrol completely overwhelmed right now with the immigration crisis.
Yes. And I don't think it's what the narrative that the media is putting out. I don't think they're not supported. None of this is supported throughout the country,
Yeah, it's not at all. Hey, speaking of borders, you got a Canadian border just 2 hours northwest of us. I mean, if you go through Buffalo area, what is it like to go into Canada now? Do you have anybody that travels over there and travels back?
I don't know. I don't do that. I don't want. I actually even stopped flying during.
But I just wonder what the travel is in and out of Canada right now. I don't know.
I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. I don't know.
I'll look into that.
But I'm not going to show papers to cross the.
No, and I'm not taking a test. I'm not having a Q stick up my nose either.
No, none of that. No.
I've seen that, and it looks barbaric.
I don't like anything.
I'm not doing that.
I won't even let anybody else cut my nails. I'm weird about that.
I'm with you as well. Yeah, I'm not doing that. But I think it's great. And the beautiful county fairgrounds that we're at right now. I tell you what we can do. We'll take a walk. I don't know if you do anything right now. You want to walk with us, but I'm going to go up there and kind of show this area. And why was this the first area that you guys picked from day one?
Actually no, it was
before was it somewhere else before?
It was somewhere else. It was like in Geneva. I can't remember exactly where it was, but we figured that the venue was not big enough because we did one last year that was like
packed out.
And it packed out. And it was like, no, we have to get something bigger. So they got something bigger, and this is what they got. And
I love the flags here. That's probably one of the largest U.S. flags we've seen in a long time. I love the way they got it dropped back here. By the way, this looks beautiful for a rally from someone I know who that might be in the political game here for too long. This is like a beautiful venue for something like that. They got plenty of parking. You got the flags. You got it all there.
Yeah, Chief Van Brederode, he let us borrow that one.
The blue line?
Yeah, but it was supposed to be between two of the lifts, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, a little windy day here, so it was supposed to be between the lifts, so it didn't work out there. But this is awesome. We want to remind everybody to, and Charles said it, you can go to our website, rsbnetwork.com, rsbnetwork.com/donate, and donate, because that enables Will, myself, and our whole crew to travel around this country and to do what we're doing right now. Because, like you said earlier, I saw a guy here from the local media. I don't know where he went. Channel 13. Okay, shout out to Channel 13. Everybody, get out of the road here real quick. I don't want you to get hit. Channel 13. So shout out to local media for showing up, and hopefully he gets the story right with why we were here, how many people showed up, and what's the message coming out of here? Because like you said, it's not a political message. It's a we're here for law enforcement.
Yep, and we're patriots.
Yeah.
It's like, we the people.
Yeah.
We the people. Yeah.
Well, I'll let you get back to what you're doing. I know we got some.
I gotta go back to the thing there. I gotta find Sheriff Mack again.
Sitting right there having lunch on the other picnic table. Yeah, he's enjoying a hot dog and something cold to drink. There you go. All right, we'll see in a few. As you saw, if you missed the broadcast, you can go back and watch it. The very beginning, as we had several hundred. I would probably say maybe 500 to 600 bikes, and he says it's down a little bit from last year because of the chance of showers in the forecast. But we also had, which is beautiful out here, by the way. I first time really up here in upstate New York, Rochester area, just south of Rochester. Hemlock, New York is the actual area we're at right now. But the motorcycles that turned into classic cars, and that turned into just, I want to take my own vehicle and do this, and that's what it's all about here today. And so if once this broadcast is over, go back, you'll be able to watch all those motorcycles that came in here, and you'll be able to watch some of the speeches. Christian Koch, 20-year veteran of the New York State Army, a pilot as well, served his community, served the state of New York, passed away in a tragic accident, and this is here to honor him and other law enforcement people that have died in the line of duty. So that's why we're here today, and this is a little bit outside of our area of coverage that we usually do with our content, but we think it's important to continue the message of supporting this country, America First agenda. And of course, we've been on this Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz America First tour. We had tour stop number 2 a couple of days ago in Mesa, Arizona. Amazing turnout. That's another broadcast I think that's going to grow and grow as it moves around the country, because this whole America First agenda is what's on your mind, right? And it's what's going to really push us into the primaries next year and then into 2024, as we've seen what it's looked like the last 120 days or so of a Biden administration. We have seen what was happening on the Keystone Pipeline. Day 2, I think, what was signed with that. The immigration reform, the Paris Accord agreement, the Iran nuclear deal. All of those have been reversed in like the first 4 days of his administration. So that just gives you an idea of what has happened. I'm looking here because it looks like we may have some rain about to move through here. So I think they're lowering the flag, if I'm not mistaken, or going to reposition it at one point, because we are, I don't know about you, Will, but I think I had a couple of drops on me, which is too bad for the riders that are out there right now on this, I think about a 26-mile loop around this Livingston County, ending back here at the Hemlock Fairgrounds. So I hope that's not the case for these guys. I hope they're able to ride without getting wet. And of course, Sheriff Mack will speak on stage. We may not be live for that speech by then, but we will have some video and some highlights of that we can post up later at a separate broadcast of that. So as you can look, this is where all the bikes are. It's hard to believe that everyone was kind of parked in this grass. I thought it would be a little bit. It seemed like it doesn't take a whole lot, but it did. See, am I talking to us on the air? Just get your thoughts of coming out here and enjoying just get your thoughts on the day so far.
Well, this has been a pretty nice day. Big turnout here, a lot of flag waving. A very American day.
Yeah, it has been a very American day, and I think it comes in a point in our culture right now where we need more stuff like this.
Absolutely. We're sure at a critical point in our history here. Yep.
You live in the area?
I am. I'm over on Canisius Lake.
Yeah. So you've seen this rally go by these back roads here in this part of the country. I bet it's something to see, all the motorcycles and cars go by.
Yeah, the motorcycle riders are some real patriots for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're glad you're here, and I know that you support our men and women in law enforcement, our military.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything? Any last words?
No, I'm just
No rain?
so many people. Yeah, that's going to hold off for us. I think we're going to be blessed.
I think so too. We're all going to pray for no rain, but we appreciate your time. First name?
Jim.
Jim. Nice to meet you, Jim. Thank you very much. And of course, I tell you what we can do. If we want to walk, let's walk to where the start was. I'm curious to see. Yeah, they are taking down the flag. That's kind of what I thought. They're putting it up because it is about to rain, and we just don't want that to get wet. Let's walk up towards the beginning and see what it looks like there. Then we'll probably, back at Master Control, we'll probably wrap it up at that moment here in a few minutes. You guys, hey, we're live on the air, Right Side Broadcasting. Just want to get, hey, you love us.
I do.
You sure you watch?
Yeah, I love the Trump rallies.
So what's the best thing? Oh, they go great. We know.
Geez, no, you get
She doesn't want to get it.
She doesn't want to get it.
Sister doesn't want. Well, she's enjoying some chips over there. So I love it.
Wow.
So, what does it mean to you to be here today?
Oh gosh, you know, my dad was a cop, so I was born and raised to love our law enforcement, the sacrifices. I never knew if my dad was coming home at night, you know. So for me, I love law and order. I love our police. I love our country, and that's what this means to me. This is supporting our law enforcement. They need it now more than ever.
They do, especially with the stuff you're seeing in social media and the news.
Yeah, I mean, they're going after them, and they need to know that they have the support to keep going. Otherwise, we're going to lose them.
Yeah. We're going to walk our way up that and see what. It's a beautiful area right here. I love these back roads here. It's really nice.
Yes, yeah. Oh, I don't live here. I'm in Monroe County. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Monroe
I'm not.
County. Yeah, Monroe County is a little bit more. I don't know how you describe it. It's
different than this.
Free here.
Okay. Oh, I got you. I like that. I like that.
It's very beautiful here.
It is very beautiful. Yes. Well, we're glad you're here. And how's your dad? Your dad still serving, or is he?
No, he's retired. He's retired, but I have a lot of friends and family that still serve. So
give him a hug for us, and
I
will
give him
a hug.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for spending some time with us. I love it. I love it. That's what we have here, and that's what I wanted to talk to. Let's walk up here. I want you to see some of these. It's great countryside. You've got the. It's like Mayberry towns that you go through when you come to Hemlock, and it was actually, it kind of brings you back to. And if you're from the big city and you grew up in a very urban area, when you see communities like this, it does. It's different. It kind of makes you feel like you're watching a 1950s movie or something like that. But if you're just now joining us, welcome. We are live in Hemlock, New York, just south of Rochester. We flew in yesterday for this event. The bikes earlier made their way out, and they'll circle back around. They actually, I'm going to check my phone. They probably, I'm saying about maybe 20 minutes will make their way back here. Now, I did have an invite to jump on the back of a bike. And if I would have found a way for Will to take that camera and get on a bike, and we would have done it. But logistically, it wasn't possible, or if we would have had some other way of shooting it. But we're glad that you're joining us here and just walking up this way. I just want to see this road here and give you an idea what it looks like just outside the fairgrounds here. And we appreciate you guys watching us on this Sunday morning and waking up to us. And of course, if you missed it earlier, we talked about our new app. You can go to our Apple store, you can go to your iOS store, your Android, and download the new Right Side Broadcasting app, where you're going to see content like this and other content exclusively on our app. A lot of stuff that we can't show. Beautiful flag here. So a lot of stuff we can't show, but we'll be able to do it on our app. So if you're watching, our goal the other day was 1,000 downloads was our goal. And I think that's a realistic goal for today. So if you're watching us, we can keep track of it. Please go and download our app. And let's see if we can get 1,000 new downloads today. And we'll put a schedule up with all additional programming coming up. And of course, if you go on the app now, you're going to see this broadcast here. Okay, this kind of gives you an idea. It's got we're alongside, don't ask me the county road this is, I don't know. But we're here off the road. This is the entrance to the fairgrounds here, and so just a beautiful part of upstate New York, just south of Rochester. And of course, well, I'll see if I can't get an ETA on these bikes of when they're coming back through. Okay, let's go ahead and walk back there, and we'll probably wrap it up and send it back to the studio here shortly. But I do want to get 1,000 new downloads during this broadcast. Is it possible to get 1,000 more downloads? I think it is. So just after this broadcast, go to your app store, search Right Side Broadcasting, RSBN. You'll see it, pop it up, download it. It's free, by the way, 100% free. We spent a lot of time trying to develop this app that would allow us to do what we're doing and to be safe from big tech. And this is one way to do it. This is the future of our broadcasting. So please feel free. Download that app. Make us happy. Take a pic. Matter of fact, have somebody take a picture with you and your phone, a selfie with the app on your phone. And you know what? Maybe we'll give you a special prize. I don't know. I can't promise anything over the internet right now, but maybe we'll do something special for you. So post up a selfie and say, I got the app. And we'll put that in the comment section. Tag us in a post. And perhaps you'll win beautiful prizes. I'm going to think about what those beautiful prizes might be, but perhaps you might win something. But we want you to do that. It's very important. Also, it's very important to support our good friend Mike Lindell over at MyPillow. Talk about a patriot. Talk about someone who's put his life out there, put his liberty out there. He has been cancel culture almost from day one, back in 2016 when he met with President Trump at that time, candidate Trump at that time. He was canceled, pushed to cancel him because of association with our president. So now's the time to fight back. Go to mypillow.com, put in the promo code RSBN at checkout, and you'll get up to 66% off. Sorry, I almost got run over by that car. Thank you very much. But go put in the promo code in and save. That is one way that you can fight big tech and fight the left from cancel culture. There's nothing worse right now in cancel culture. I actually think some on the left are understanding that cancel culture and this whole wokeness in our society is hurting our First Amendment rights overall. Even if you're very liberal, which very liberal means free speech. Being liberal means you're available and you support freedom of expression, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. So those things in our culture right now are being removed. So go check them out at mypillow.com, mypillow.com. Put the promo code. Hey, how many of my pillows do you own?
Yeah.
57,000.
Why are you putting me?
No, but what a great supporter Mike Lindell is of just a patriot.
Yeah, I watched you when he opened up his Frank thing. I was watching
Frank's speech. Yeah,
Frank's speech. Yeah. I was watching you guys.
No, he's great. I mean, he's out there putting his life on the line. Literally putting his life and his business on the line.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I heard you. I was watching you on my phone, and
there you go.
Roberta's going to call me when they're 15 minutes out from coming back.
Okay, so do you know where they're at right now? So they're not within 15 minutes of coming back.
Not as of yet. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we'll kind of hang out for then until we might have to close this broadcast, but we can always record it, and we'll have the close on a separate broadcast a little bit later. Yeah.
With Sheriff Mack.
With Sheriff Mack. So that's the way television works and programming. I love it. And of course, we were talking about our app, and you can download the app on your phone. And I said, hey, download the app on your phone, take a selfie with you and your app, and maybe free hugs from you. Maybe you'll give out free hugs.
Yeah, free hugs.
I give out free hugs.
I saw that.
And I want somebody to, no one wants to take me up on my free hug. Here, Will, step up. Yeah. No one takes me up on the free hugs, but anyway, we'll get that worked out. All right, so download the app, and we'll know in about 15 minutes. We'll get an ETA on when they start coming, and they'll come in through this.
No, they're not coming through this way. They're coming through the backside.
Oh, okay, the way we came in for the most part. Okay, the way I came in. Wonderful. All right, I like that. All right, so as you said, they took the flag down for a little chance of rain, I would imagine. They still got the blue, thin blue line flag that's flying, but there was a 30 to 40% chance of rain here, and so I would imagine just out of precautionary, they decided to let that go. Okay, tell you what, we're going to go ahead and wrap right now. Hang on a second. Yes, sir.
Great guy if you want to talk to him right there.
What does he do?
He does the 22, the PTSD.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He does a lot for all that stuff.
Okay, well, maybe we'll get a segment in with him. All right, guys, we're going to have to wrap up our broadcast, but I will say this. Miles, I'll send it back to you in the studio. My takeaway today from all of this is to pray for our law enforcement, our first responders, our military veterans, their family, their safety, their financial blessings. Pray for all of everyone involved who really sacrifice their safety to protect your safety. So please pray for everyone there. And also go and support our good friends over at MyPillow. Go support all of our partners in all of this. 9Line Apparel. If you go to 9lineapparel.com, same thing. Put a promo code RSBN. You'll get up to 20% off your entire order. So 9Line Apparel is a great partner of our network, and so is MyPillow, and we're just so proud to be out here doing that. So I'll leave you with this. We'll leave you with the flags. We'll put up the content for Sheriff Mack and others post-ride. But until then, goodbye. God bless from beautiful upstate New York. I'm Brian Glenn. Enjoy the rest of your day.